Hello, my family. Crazy day today. I have errands to do, get this farm done. It's been a time this week, but before I get started and all that, I wanted to do a video that I had promised you. I'll tell you a little funny story at first, and then I'll get to the point of what we're doing, but this is my second round. I told you about our little quails that we started raising. Well, they started laying eggs. They are fully mature, and it's been amazing. We have 11 hens, so within a week I can get enough to make a batch, which this is what we're going to do today, is make a batch of pickled quail eggs. Now, the reason I'm going into quails because there's some interesting facts that most don't know about quails, and I thought I'd go ahead and share with you and why I enjoy them so much. These tiny little eggs, y'all, they are so full of, you wouldn't think that a little tiny food like that can be considered a superfood. And when I mean superfood, I mean exactly just that. These tiny little eggs, compared to duck, chicken, and turkey, have an overabundance of vitamins and minerals within these eggs. I could not believe the things that I learned from A, D, K, B, potassium, zinc. They are just loaded with vitamins and minerals. Some of the health benefits that I learned about them is they can help improve metabolism. They reduce digestive problems and are rich in vitamin B. They promote bone strength and add zinc and potassium to your body. They're actually immune boosters, believe it or not. They can speed up recovery in cold, flus, and anything in your body, your cells in your body. They're fantastic. They have antioxidants beneficial to respiratory system. They help in maintaining regular blood sugar because they are a low glycemic food. They can detox the body and improve skin health and reduce hair loss. These are just a few things that these little tiny eggs can do for you. Their one downside to these is they do have more cholesterol than any other egg produced, but in all, I would prefer to take a quail egg because of what they offer compared to the others, honestly, but I like them both. So another thing about quail eggs, they're actually considered a delicatessen. They're pretty much in the gourmet world, and they're not as easy to find as you would think. Unless you have somebody like us who raise quails, they are really kind of hard to find. And a lot of restaurants, you will find a quail egg. They do some amazing dishes with quail eggs. They're super cute. The other thing about a quail egg is it literally takes, as you've seen, they're tiny, so it takes 5 to 6 quail eggs to equal 1 chicken egg. So I hope this little bit of information gives you something to, if you didn't know about quail eggs and why we were so set on getting them again. I had these before and I actually missed them. The other thing I learned about quails versus chicken, now we'll go to manure when it comes to gardens. Honestly, quails come out where they're not as potent per se when it comes to gardening. With chicken manure, you have to wait at least 6 months to a year before you can use it, or it'll burn your plants. Unlike quail manure, you can use it immediately, like you would the chicken or the duck, or, oh my lord, goats and rabbits. Sorry, y'all. I'm telling you, my head's moving. But like goats and rabbits, it's one of those type of manures you can use immediately. So that was another thing I thoroughly liked about it, and I can add it to my compost and use it too. So today's video is going to be making a unique type of brine for these. These are a delicatessen to me also. They're just amazing, and I would like to give it the top quality of even a brine for a pickle. Now, I will tell you though, these cannot be canned. Again, like all my videos, I won't tell anybody what you can do. I'm only telling you what I do. I do not can these. I will put these in my refrigerator. They will take about a week to pretty much cure, I guess, or to pickle. And then, honestly, these can tend to be less than that. It depends. So, I've done this like halfway through the point or even after a week. So we enjoy them. They make a great little snack, and they're good for diabetics. But now the brine, I'm going to tell you, I am going to make the brine safer for a diabetic, yet original recipe for everyone. If you do not have quail eggs, yes, you can use this for chicken eggs as well. So it is a sweet heat based brine. You do not see this often when it comes to canning, or not canning, but pickling eggs. So I am going to share this recipe because it's more of a gourmet style, per se, if you want to call it gourmet style brine for eggs. So I will be giving original recipe, also breaking it down, and I will put it in the description below. For those who have diabetes, I will break down how it's safe for you so you can enjoy this as well. I'm going to test this out as far as the sugar level, but I will tell you, go based on your taste. I am learning that the sugar that I use, which is a sucralose blend, when it says to use 1 cup of sugar, I'm going to use the 1 cup of sucralose because my husband seems to like it that way. So I will do the 1-on-1, and if I find after this batch that it was too sweet, I can always break it down to half. So go based by your preference, your flavors, and let's go to pickling these beautiful little eggs, because this is amazing, y'all. So we're going to go in the kitchen. Okay, so we need approximately 36 quail eggs. This is going to be making a 1 quart. So I'm going to be using a 1 quart wide mouth jar because it's going to make it easy to get in there and get those little eggs. With that, on this brine, we're going to need 1 cup of white wine vinegar. So I am going to be adding 1 cup of this. This one's almost empty, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish this out. Using the white wine vinegar, oh my gosh, it leaves a nice flavor to this brine. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish this. And yeah, it takes a lot of white wine vinegar to make this, but I'm going to tell you, it is definitely worth it, y'all. We got 1 cup of white wine vinegar. We're going to need 1 cup of water. Now they say, and I'll be honest, we'll get into how to hard boil these eggs in a minute. One cup of water. Now it's 1 cup of sugar. Now this is where things are going to change. For those without any health issues, you're going to add 1 cup of regular white granulated sugar. But for those of us who have a husband like I do, or who are like my husband, diabetic, you are going to use a sugar substitute. Is this safe? Yes, because you are not canning this. It is used for a brine, but again, you are not canning this, so this is absolutely safe. So we're going to add 1 cup of sweetener substitute to this. And then I am going to bring this up to a heat that I can dissolve the sugar and all with it. I'm going to be adding 2 teaspoons of dried thyme. Now I am going to be using my regular thyme that I had preserved from my garden outside. So I'm just going to add 2 teaspoons of that to this. I'm going to have to rub this because these were absolutely fresh. So. Get all this in there. Sorry, y'all. Just a little bit more of a pinch here. Okay. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of mustard seed. And that's our brine part. Now in a separate dish, we're going to add the rest of the ingredients to this. I'm going to go ahead and get this started, mixed up, and I will put together the next ingredients for you. We'll be right back. Okay, y'all. So the next thing we're going to do is just take our boiled eggs. Now I will tell you, these can be they're definitely different than regular chicken eggs. They do peel a lot differently. The best thing to do, they say you can steam these. I've tried steaming them and boiling them. These were boiled and stuck in ice water. And when I go to peel them, I take and I'll pop that shell like you do. You know, pop them and then get the shell softened up. I will pinch the tops where the air sacs would be and pull them away. And under running water, so that has helped me. So, but you can steam these or you can boil them, it doesn't matter. Now our next ingredients is going to be using a small to medium sized jalapeno. You want to slice the jalapeno fairly thin, not super thin, about a quarter of an inch. You can add some with seeds to make it a bit spicy. That's what we have in here because my husband happens to like it that way. And then the other half of it without the seeds. And we have 1 small onion. You can use sweet or regular onion. Again, a 1/4 inch thick slices. And we're just going to mix this all together into these eggs. Kind of break up the onions throughout this mixture. Be very gentle not to bust up these little eggs. They're pretty tough, but you can, even on a regular egg, you can bust them up by being too aggressive. So now I'm just going to mix this up, and then from here we're going to put them inside this jar. So I'm going to go ahead and use a canning lid on this one. And I'm just going to pop these little babies inside this jar, mixture and all. And fill this up. That was a runaway egg I just seen. Now I'm going to pop this down in here to get this where it's fully throughout this whole thing. And now we are ready for our brine. So once our brine is ready, we will come back and we will fill up this jar. We got to let this cool off too before we fill this jar up too. So once I get this up to heat and then cooled back down to add to our jar, we will be right back. Okay, y'all, so we got our brine cooled off. Now I want to make sure that I get all these goodies in here. Quite a bit of this, which was the thyme and the mustard seed. I'm just now going to slowly ladle this into our jar. I did test this and it tastes, oh my gosh, amazing. Y'all, like I said, this is a different type of brine than most have seen, and I figured with the delicacy of these eggs, this type of brine would be perfect for them. So, it is hard to get these little things here, so I definitely want this mixed in with my quail eggs. So I'm trying to get as much of this as I can. Matter of fact, I think I have an idea, so hold on just a second so that I can get all this goodness in this jar and then top it off to where I need it to be for the brine. So hang on 1 minute. I've always believed where there's a will, there's a way, and I will find it, and I did find it. So what I'm going to do is strain my brine through this tiny little strainer here. Haha! Now I'll take my ingredients and pop them in my jar, just like that. Yes. And now I will top off my brine to my jar till I can cover my quail eggs, just like so. Now I'm going to take and debubble this to make sure it goes all the way through. I'll take my debubbler and shift this around some, get these little eggs in here, all this goodness, where everybody gets a brine, just like so. And just gently pushing them through. Oops. And it will also marinate these pickles, or these onions, and jalapenos too. Y'all, this is the best brine I have ever tasted. Me and hubby are hooked on this stuff. So I'm just going to make sure these eggs are completely under this brine. I'm going to seal this off. I am using one of those, I got these at Walmart, one of these plastic lids. Put this on here. I will put this in the refrigerator, let it cure for about a week, and we will enjoy this beautiful batch of pickled quail eggs. So I'm going to get this in the fridge. We will be right back with you. Okay, y'all, and that was it. It's just a 1 jar making, and so that's what I also liked about this, is it was pretty much made for 1 quart jar. I think I had about maybe 1/8 of a cup, or even less than that, of the brine left over. So it pretty much took all of this brine. Now I will say, if you do chicken eggs, you will not get as much as I did with these quail eggs. Now I understand not everybody has accessibility to quail eggs, trust me, and they can be expensive. The reason they are expensive is because not too many people raise them like we do. So it has been known that you can usually get quail eggs, and I don't know what the price is these days, but it used to be a dozen quail eggs is about $4 on up to about $6. So like I said, mainly because 1, they're not raised as often, 2, they are considered a delicacy, and 3, they are also considered a superfood. They are one of the best type of eggs you can ever have, except for the cholesterol level of it. But other than that, they are amazing, and we enjoy them. We can get 36 eggs within that quart jar. We can double this recipe if we wanted to and make a 1/2 gallon jar instead. So that's the one thing about this, you can double this recipe. If you want to do chicken eggs, I would probably suggest you doing that, because you won't get that many in that jar. So you can double this recipe and make it into a 1/2 gallon. So either way, and the recipe being versatile to be able to accommodate both sides of the world that we are on is amazing, because all you're doing is replacing the sugar for sugar substitute, and this will be of your choice, y'all. You don't have to have a specific kind. I'm not going to tell you. You use your own taste, your own thing. I will say though, whatever sugar you choose, taste your brine, because it can, some sugars might react differently to the white wine vinegar. So just test yours. Like I said, I used just the Great Value sucralose in this one, and it was absolutely perfect. So just make your choices. I really hope you enjoyed this. And honestly, if you were to ever try this brine, I will tell you, it was the best thing. We are stuck. We don't eat any other way on those eggs because they were just, I can't say enough about them. I was so grateful to stumble upon that recipe. It was absolutely amazing. So, and I did do some research to make sure that I can accommodate for my husband now like I did before. So I wanted to share that with you, and I hope it was an informative video to you about quail eggs. I know quail eggs, right? But if you have a chance to get your hands on some, I encourage you to do it because they are absolutely amazing. Back when, let's see, it was about 3 years ago, back when everything started and sickness started raining through, we had our quails back then, and very honestly, we were eating our quail eggs quite often, and I'm going to tell you, it did help us. It helped keep our bodies fortified and nutrition, and they were fantastic immune boosters. I'm going to just say we came out quite well through all of this. And so I told my husband back when we got out of them, I'd like to get back into quails. Now, I will limit how many I raise compared to what, God love that man. I love my husband, but he found how super easy it was to raise a quail. Again, like I said, in 4 to 6 weeks on the jumbos, and these are Cotornics, by the way. So jumbo Cotornics start laying eggs within 4 to 6 weeks. Regular size Cotornics quails lay eggs anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. And when you consider that compared to a chicken, they're pretty prolific as well. They get enough lighting, and they're out of my building right now, and they get a supplement lighting because honestly there's really no other place since we have pheasants that we're now raising. But they get supplemental lighting, and 12 to 14 hours of lighting, these babies can lay eggs all the way up until, well, their end of their lifespan, and they'll lay eggs through the winter when my chickens stop laying eggs. They're actually quite amazing. So I will have that on top of what I'm doing with freezing my chicken eggs. But they are absolutely amazing, and I just wanted them. My husband, what made me get out of them in the first place is, God love that man. We ended up with just a handful of them, and then somehow we ended up with over 50 quails. It got so out of hand, I just couldn't do it anymore, and I told him something's got to give. We ended up getting out of them. So it's been a couple years, and I've really missed my quails, and they make a beautiful dish, even Mediterranean style. They are a delicacy all the way around, from the eggs to the meat to everything. They are absolutely an amazing poultry. So I have missed them. And so now I am in control of the limitation of how many we will raise this time. So right now I have, let's see, 11, 12, 13, 14 to 15 quails. So that's good enough, and 3 of those are males, so we have a good ratio of hens. I have 11 hens and I have 3 males. The other males that you are hearing, those are extras, and well, they have another place for them, but I am going to and raising these again because I really enjoy the flavors and the eggs from these babies. I just, yeah, they're still my babies, but they are an amazing bird. Super, super easy to raise. So if you ever get a chance, if you're a starter homesteader, quails are just as easy to raise as if you were a rabbit. They don't take a lot of room, and they're super easy to raise, and you can have eggs in no time. But again, it takes, like I said, 5 to 6 eggs of theirs to equal 1 chicken egg. You can bake with them just as much the same way. Just count out the eggs as you would to a regular egg, and there you have it. So, and I've done that. The food had rich flavoring. So, and even if you used an egg sauce like hollandaise, very rich and creamy. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm hoping this was informative and maybe gives you an idea. If you didn't know where to start, maybe you can start with quails. So my Shire Farms out of Ohio is where I started my quails. Now they may be other places I'm not sure about. I may look into them later, but I started out again here with my Shire Farm. So I will put that in the description so that I can link you or direct you to where, if you're interested, to the place where we went to get our eggs, and we incubated them and hatched our own. So I'm gonna have to go now and get some errands done and get this farm done, but I have enjoyed this session with you all very much. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope you try it. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Share it with everybody if you enjoyed it. So, and if you think it would benefit anybody else. I will have this recipe in the description for you. And until next time, much love from Parton's Heritage Homestead.